Hey everybody, this is Miss G, Gainer Milky, and today with T, with Miss G, which is T, it's Trauma, Empowerment, and Action, we are going to talk a little bit about sewing. And actually, I'm not very good at sewing, but my daughter, who's 17 now, she used to want to be a fashion designer, and she's really good at sewing. I've always enjoyed it. My grandmother was a seamstress, and I used to spend a lot of time with her, and she would make lots of doll clothes, and I was fascinated by the process, but didn't really learn. I don't think I really had the patience for it. But we're going to talk about a different type of sewing, and this comes from Paul Friedman and the Marriage Foundation, which I have recently become a student of because I want to do the certification there for marriage training and marriage counseling. And the reason why I want to do that is exactly because of situations like the story that I found myself in yesterday when I was talking to one of my neighbors. So she is a lovely woman who's probably, I'm guessing, like her late 20s or maybe 30. And I often see her in passing walking her dog in our neighborhood, and we chat sometimes, and she just is lovely. She's a preschool teacher, and one thing that she said to me yesterday, which really stuck with me, and I can see like what a lovely person she is just from saying this, is she said, how are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm good. She's like, how are you? And I was like, that is so sweet. I said, oh, I'm doing pretty well. My daughter had an accident, but she's doing better. So that was that. And I said, how are you doing? And she told me, that she often goes to the city where she grew up in on the weekends. Like that's where her family is and her friends. And she said, but the men are just garbage. And I was like, oh, tell me about that. And she said, oh, they're all cheaters online and they're talking to multiple people. And, I, I see this a lot. And I also have experienced this, and being a single woman, for a few years, and also, just living also with my ex-husband and the pornography, all of those things. I totally get this, and I sometimes our tea is going to get a little bit hot, but I do have my sewing mug, so it's all good. But anyway, back to my neighbor, I said, well, don't worry about that, because really the people that you meet that are doing things like cheating or kind of playing games and dating, they're just not very evolved people. And I think I've come to learn that as well, is that we're all entitled to do whatever it is that we want to do, but as Paul Friedman says in his course, there is cause and effect. And I think this is also something I said to my neighbor, is that why would you want to engage with somebody like that who's obviously not being honest and open with you, and obviously doing something hurtful to the person that he's already with. And if they're going to do that to that person, they're going to do that to you, potentially and probably. And she's like, well, I just want to like put him on the spot. And I'm like thinking to myself, well, then, she's not thinking from a higher level brain either. And not to judge anybody, but just something to think about is, I know, it's been a process for me as well, is just, somebody who's at that stage is not coming from love and is not ready really for a serious, mature relationship. And so I basically said to her, she said, what do you think I should do? And I said, well, I guess speaking from experience, I would say don't waste your time with people like that, because life is short and you need to move on. So it's kind of a sad lesson in today's day and age that uh, people are not necessarily looking for love and happiness in relationships. They're kind of looking for self-fulfillment at a low level. So my advice to her, the lovely woman that she is, really to take a break from those dating apps and maybe figure out what it is that you want for yourself and really evaluate that, because and then follow some kind of path where you're meditating and thinking about what it is that you really want and what love means to you. So that's it for today. Just sharing a story about my neighbor. I think it's something that a lot of women are facing, and men too, in today's day and age. But it all comes back to the basic principles of being a good human. And if somebody's not being a good human, why would you want to waste your time in a relationship with them? So for today, that's a little bit of hot tea from me, Miss G. And I hope you take away maybe some strength and courage to start looking in a different direction when it comes to relationships, and thinking about relationships as something that is supposed to bring fulfillment to both people, and that really at the end of the day, marriage, if you are going to get into a marriage relationship, is all about service. It's not about self. And we'll get into all of this a little bit deeper in some of our next videos. But this story really yesterday stuck out to me because it seems to be so prevalent, and she is just a lovely woman. She should be able to find somebody, if she wants to, who can provide real love, and real love does not hurt somebody else. So that's all I have to say today, and I do hope that your day is a little bit easier. It is full of joys and happiness and self-reflection, because that's truly the path to finding what it is and achieving what you really want.